Anandan has made significant contributions to microwave antennas, radar cross-section, and microwave materials. He has also guided research scholars across institutions like NIT Trichy, IIST Trivandrum, and DIAT Pune. His academic journey includes an associate membership at ICTP Italy and a visiting research fellowship at the University of Paris. I now request Professor Anandan to invite our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair. Sir, please.
So very happy to introduce Dr. Suresh Nair. Knowing him for the last so many years, I don't know how to describe him. In his talk, he has mentioned two words: researcher, entrepreneur. Whether he is a researcher or an entrepreneur or a scientist or an academician or an industrialist, I will say that he is some of all these plus something else. He is a very good manager, a very good speaker also. You might have already got a hint of that in the inaugural address. You will see that you will not sleep. Of course, his educational background and all these things I don't want to repeat. You have already mentioned that one. He has occupied all the different IEEE positions, whatever is available in India, and now he is in international committees for IEEE. What I want to tell about him is that if you want to understand him, you just read his book, which is published last year, Product Sense. PDF not available, he may tell you to buy it. That is how you engineering the ideas to a product. He is a master of that one, as we know. You also will be knowing it after his talk. In that book, what I found, just one instant I will say, he got a chance or a challenge to develop a product where the specification was much above the currently available spec for that particular product. So how nicely he managed to do that, and he did it successfully. So that type of many things are there in his book. So try to read that book, Product Sense. So I don't want to talk more. I will invite him. You just invite, enjoy the talk. Over to Suresh Nair, please.
Okay, anyway, good afternoon. So here, I'm not going to talk much about antenna propagation and all. I think there are a lot of keynote speakers who will be able to do that. But one of the aspect what even government is looking is like the research translated to commercial products. How can you translate the research to commercial products? So that is what I'm going to talk about. Whatever Anandan sir said, that also I will. So can you just show your mobile phones? I think since this is antenna propagation, can you just raise your mobile phones, please? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So you know that this. No, you just keep it like that. You know that this uses microwave and internal microwave antenna and all. But what I want to do is like, please keep it inside your bag during this talk. Okay, we know that it is related to antenna propagation, but keep it inside. Don't go on, looking at that part because I am coming from an industry. Normally, from industry, what people look for is return on investment. So this talk is an investment from my side. So I wanted to make sure that there is enough return. So don't spare your time in the other things. So today's outline of the talk, science, technology and product. This is what I have been talking about, why we need to develop commercial products. So this is one I will explain. Why should you become an entrepreneur? That is another question, that is my subject also. So why you have to become? So this is sort of motivating you. how will I get good ideas? So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to have good ideas. So how will I get good ideas? So that also I will try to tell a little bit. Then another thing is need to know technology readiness level. Whenever you are developing any product or when you are applying for any project funding from government agencies, there are a lot of funding available. At that time, you need to know what is the technology readiness level. I will explain that. Then I thought like I will take you through a few case studies taken from my career so that research translated to commercial product, what we have done. Innovation translated to multi-million-dollar business, which Anandan sir was mentioning. I will again talk about that. How to create market for your idea or innovation. So even if there is no market, is there any possibility of creating market for your idea? This is also possible. Then product development life cycle, from concept to the final product. What are the stages involved that I will just touch upon, and also glances of some of the products developed during these days, recently, without talking about its intellectual property. I will show some of them and then I will summarize. So that is very clear. So now I have to explain you all about why the product has to be developed. Science, basic science, it is done in fundamental research and development in organizations like the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research and other places where science is being developed. So the output is normally international publication, like the publication in Nature and things like that. It should not stop there. The output from these science should get on to technology, that is also applied research. So we are all mainly into applied research area. We may not be developing scientific part of that, but applied research. Apply that science to technology. So that is what we do, and there are many organizations, including departments and CSIR labs and all those. They are all doing these technology applied research. The output will be normally patents, copyrights, and also some publication. The output from that should not remain there. It should go and get converted to a usable equipment. For example, if I take anything like MRI, magnetic resonance is a science. Then somebody in applied research, they found out that using magnetic resonance, you can find out some issues in the tissues and all. Okay, so that was the applied research. That is converted to an MRI machine, where a patient can go in and all these scanning can be done, all RF only, scanning can be done and you get the results like that. So that is how it is converted, the science is converted to a product. What happens is like, that is where you are going to give real service to the society. Dr. Deepthi was telling me like I insisted on publication, but this is somebody else can do. I am not saying like those who are publishing or from one paper you will get a product. It is not like that. It's a cumulative thing. And that is how the science will be converted useful to the society. Why it has to be useful to the society? If you take the science, all funded by government, taxpayers' money. In technology applied research, 90% by government and 10% maybe from industry. These are all taxpayers' money, okay, society's money. Now, this money has to go back to again to the government. How? You make the product, sell the product, whoever industries, whoever it is, sell the product, that tax, GST, we always care about 18% GST, too much and all. This GST will go back to the government. That is how the whole loop is connected. So unless you have this closed loop, and if there is a break somewhere, for example, there is research funding is there, but not many products are coming out, then this will not go a long way. So that is what the importance of becoming, and of course you will make some money also by doing that, because industry has to get some money. Industry is not really normally funded by government and all. They have to put their own. Now I will take you why you have to be an entrepreneur. So a bit about me, scientist, becoming a scientist in a government lab was at that time the great, what is that called, every parent in my, at that time, everybody wants their son or daughter to be a scientist. That is the top one, okay, the real scientist. So I was enjoying that, and I explained that what we have done and all. It was a scientist job, and whether I don't know whether I have to tell here or not, whether you do extremely well or extremely bad, the promotion will be delayed maybe 1 year or so. That's how what it can be done. Okay, I'm not discouraging, but that was a very nice job. Okay, like very nice, you can have a very good career and all. But then that was my comfort zone. Then I purposely switched to a corporate. At that time, 20 years back, even though I don't look so old, but at that time this happened like that. Okay, I was taking a decision to switch to a private company. In private company, when you go at that time, we are not very sure we will get the salary or not. I don't know at what time they are going to close the industry at that time. Now people are going towards private industry rather than government labs and all because of pay package and all other things, benefits. But I switched it. I came to Cochin and joined, SFO Technologies Nest Group, and I was there around 20 years. And I became the global chief technology officer. So what I got was maybe around 18 or so US patent. That's what I got. It was a very comfortable job, heavy pay package and all. Need not worry about anything. But in my 50s, I took a decision to change to become an entrepreneur. So age is not a limit. Anandan sir, age is not a limit to start any entrepreneurship. Okay, you can switch at any point of time. So this is my entrepreneurship journey. I just wanted to talk about that. So that was another risk, because till that time salary I need not worry. On first of every month I will get a very good salary there. But now I have to find out salary for my employees. So that was a big challenge which we have taken. But then what happens is, like, when you sell your shares of the company, you can go to Maldives, enjoy nice thing. It is for motivation purpose only I am showing. You can take a villa and enjoy and everything. So that is the result what you get. And also you can be a producer of some movies also. So please see this movie. It is going to come. Okay. So I did my publicity. So this are what you can enjoy. That was on the lighter side I showed, but that's how the enjoyment comes, not only in the technical area. So when you become successful, okay, now I will tell you how to become successful. To become an entrepreneur is what you need is move out of the comfort zone. That is what you are. See, when you are a professor or this thing, it is very nice. Like, you come here, teach and go back. Very nice. A few publications, researchers will do the job. Okay, so like that, it was a comfortable job, but you have to move out. There are a lot of people here, who moved out because that is a tedious thing. You are taking a risk. You may fail or you may become successful, but I believe that if you are very serious on that, you will be able to be successful. So that is what. And also one more thing is, like, here I have to mention that when you do your MTech, PhD and all those things, you become an expert in one area. Then you think like, I will come up with a product in this area only, assuming that customer will buy. This is a wrong assumption. Okay, many of the startups failed because of that. So what we need to do is, we need to understand what customer needs. Then your expertise, you fine tune to match with that. Not that their requirement you are expecting them to fine tune to your thing. So this is what you have to do. Now, how will I get good ideas? This is a very $1 million question. Like, if I know, I would have done that one, right? But there are, if you, the one is this slide I show everywhere. I think many of you maybe, see, when you look at, 3 apples that changed the whole world. Like, the first one is Adam and Eve, entirely different thing. Second one is Isaac Newton. It fell down and gravitational laws and all those things came. Third one is Steve Jobs, the new Apple. Everybody's talking about that. After seeing that picture, I thought, like, if I had to have a good innovation, I have to do something with Apple. So that's what I concurred. I assumed like that. So you need to have like this. But unfortunately, we have here only this. We are in Kerala, we are all Mallu. So what we can do is, if you expect the same thing to happen, it will happen like this and I will die. So this is not a good idea. Okay, so let us not follow what others are doing. Now then how will I get good ideas? So you have to just look around. If India itself, if you see, what are the requirements or what are the challenges? I am talking only about a social entrepreneurship a little bit because that is my interesting area. There are a lot of challenges already there. One or two I will explain. 21% of the population lives on less than $2 per day. 150 rupees or 200 rupees. Now all people from north, they come here, they get 800 rupees and things like that. That's like a gulf for them. But it is the truth. Like 150 rupees or 200 rupees per day. So how can you do? So as an engineer or scientist, how can you improve their lifestyles? Like, how can you contribute to the society so that it can be done. So I am, 63 million people without access to clean drinking water. So as a scientist, as an engineer, can you contribute something to clean water, to give them clean water? For example, northern region, if you go Guwahati and other areas, water is contaminated with arsenic and all. So can you come up with your ideas, maybe, microwave or whatever idea you have, but you need to come up with a provision of giving clean water. So like that. Then opportunities are, like many are there, like our GDP is very good, so that's a very good ambience. 800 million unique mobile users are here in India. I think now it may be more. That means when you are designing a product, if it can be coupled to a mobile phone, that is also possible. You can reduce the cost of the product because the output may be seen as an app or something like that. You need not really reinvent another mobile phone and put into your system. So those type of opportunities are there. So you have to really look at the challenges and opportunities. If I make it very simple to you, there are a few areas like agriculture and development, what you can do. Nowadays agriculture development and all we don't really go to paddy field or anything. We know that if we order in Swiggy, food comes. But from where it comes, from where the grain comes, if the farmers they decide that they are not going to sell out to anyone else than their family, what will happen? We will not have any Swiggy and things like that. So the young generation has to think from where it comes. So can we contribute towards that source? That means, can you use your ideas to come up with farming very simple, farming very productive? So like that, for example, we don't want to get into the mud and water and things like that in the field. But what you can do is, can you design a equipment which will do all those things? You can sit here and then do it remotely, farming. So like that, lot of things are there. And water, I mentioned. Women's safety is another one where you can contribute. Waste management and sanitation, very interesting thing. I think you are all youngsters. I remember one girl who came, actually I was mentoring her. She came with an idea of the sanitary napkin, like that is one of the major, we throw it out and it makes a lot of environmental problems and all. So she had a bright idea of a sanitary napkin which will dissolve at high temperature. High temperature means 40 or 50 degrees Celsius. That is only hot water is required, it will get dissolved. So think of those ideas. So I just mentioned one or two. I have a lot of such ideas, but you can also think of how can you do that. Continuing healthcare. Healthcare is one of my interesting area. How can you contribute towards healthcare? I will cover some of them later on. Then education is one, livelihood, clean energy. Like that is one of the emphasis given, like solar energy, wind energy, and lot many things. I remember some of the entrepreneurs, what they have come up with is a robot which cleans the solar panel. Because solar panel, if you see after some time, dust, rain and all those things, it will come on the surface and it will reduce the efficiency. So there is one entrepreneur, actually startup, they came up with a remote robot which will clean. So they have come up with one more thing on that. Without water they can clean, even dry, like using some nylon electrostatic principle. They have done that one. So like that, lot of physical disability. We are all lucky. We have all the eyes, ear, nose and all those things with us. But there are people, there are fellow citizens who are not. So those who are having this, can we use engineering, design, science and all to help them out? So we have done in that area also some of them, some of the products there. So the innovation is, every day we are talking about, it is a process of translating an idea or invention into a product or service. But I have one more thing for which customers will pay. See, for example, you are designing any antenna system or anything with a very beautiful radiation pattern and things like that. But is there any customer to buy? Then only it will become an innovation. Otherwise, I don't call it as innovation. It is your idea. You keep it with you only. But, if it has to be an innovation, there should be somebody who is going to buy. Buy means they are going to pay you. Okay, that means they are very serious about that. So on a lighter side, I will show like, when somebody falls down. Recently, I fell down and I broke my, this portion here. So when you put the plaster and go out, everybody who meets you, they will ask about what happened. First question. So I have to answer. I fell down here. I was taking out, standing here. I fell down and all. I was thinking like, instead of saying that, saying that, why don't you put a sling where you print the reason on that one? For example, dog bite, The second one, like stairs, I fell down from stairs. The third one is games, sports. Fourth one is, some internal family issues which you don't want to tell, like something happened. So like that, think of the energy saved. I need not tell anyone. Like, I had a surgery also, so that was very good. So I have in my, bag also all those things. Those who are wanting, you can always contact me. That was on the lighter side. But now let us be serious. Technology readiness level. When you are developing a product, how will you say at what level you are? Technology readiness. You always, people tell that only 20% is remaining. Remaining all I have done. But it is not like that. This is a very complex, very nice chart. Technology readiness level is linked to everything. That's what I want to show. But I will make it very simple. There are 1 to 9 technology readiness levels. Okay, one is basic principle observed and reported. Okay, the second one is technology concept formulated probably in the lab. And like that, when you reach technology level 9, the actual system proven through successful practical use. So normally when you are applying for any project funding and all, I have seen that many people tell that I am now at technology level 4, I will become 8. So it is not correct actually. So as soon as we review, we will know that he did not understand what is technology readiness level. So this is the language which you have to speak when you are developing product. Typically, it will be when you are applying for any funding, it will be technology level 2, 3 to maybe 5, 6. That's the maximum what you can do. Otherwise, you have to do lot of work using customer and things like that. Now I will show some of the case studies of research translated to commercial, because whenever I am talking about there is a possibility of translating, I have to prove myself, right? I have to tell you, these are all my case studies. There are, of course, these are all more towards optical, because, a little bit frequency more, don't worry about that, but it is all same as microwave only. So here, one of the lab, in government lab, was developing a very fantastic erbium doped fiber. That means, what is it called? They dope erbium into the fiber. So the purpose is very simple. When a signal comes, an RF signal comes, when it goes through the coaxial cable and all those things, there will be loss and the level will be very less. Then what you do is you can amplify. You can RF amplify, or if it is a digital data, you can first detect it, then you translate digitally into 0, 1, again modulate. Like that you can do a triple R type of thing. So in optical also this is possible. There was a very new research which happened, and this is possible, and people have come up with some erbium doped fiber. So as an industry, what I have done is I have taken only the fiber from them. What the fiber needs is it has to be excited with some wavelengths, 980 nanometer and 1550 nanometer will pump. So those things I did. I did some electronic circuitry to control that, some management, all those things, and also continuously monitoring with a closed loop. So I came up with a system which looks something like that. So the round one, what you are seeing, is the only thing what I got, that white one, but remaining we did all the designs and we converted into a product. So what happened was like this, we made an app and things like that. But you won't believe the CSIR put it as a very prime on the front page, saying like CGCRI NES product reaches US market. So from that lab, they joined with an industry to make a product which was sold in US and make money. So that is how the research money, what they have put it comes back in this one. This is the point which I wanted to emphasize every time. Another case studies, I think, this I think I should skip. Innovation translated to multi-million business. This is another one what Professor Anandan was talking about. When fiber to the home, now I think most of your home will have a fiber connection. From there you take it through a wireless Wi-Fi router and things like that. But when this fiber to the home was just coming, maybe 15-20 years back, I think maybe 17 years back or so, we were invited to US. It's a global meet, and Verizon is one of the major networking company in US. they gave a problem. That's what Anand sir was talking about. I put in my book also. They asked us, can you come up with a system with a specification which is non-existent? Till now, nobody has developed it. So can you develop? They have called a lot of people from, vendors from, not from India. Actually, we represented another US company, our chairman's US company, US, Japan, and all those things. They gave that thing, and we came back. We developed. We spent lot of research, R&D, and things like that. I can talk for one day full. We came up with a system. You won't believe we could achieve that one. So that one has become actually sort of a standard, where the thing is like the other competitors from Japan and all, they have not done. So that may be because we have that business hunger, because we wanted to get this business. If we are able to solve that problem, we will be able to get that multi-million-dollar business. So that must be there, because the innovation was better here. I don't know what is the reason, but we developed it. We set up the complete lab, and it is a multi-million-dollar business. We could get it. So the point which I want to make is like, I'm not talking about how we made it out, but if you are having an intention and hunger to survive, I think you will be able to do it in India. So this is the specification, what Japanese people have come up with, what US people have come up with, but that is our system, one of the system which we have done. We had a lot of US patents and things like that. So that was a very tough thing. For 1 year, 1.5 years, we worked, and we came up with that one, which is commercially produced. The performance we could achieve very fast, maybe 6 months time. But to make it commercially, because if all these products have to go through the temperature cycling from -40 to 80 degree, and all those thermal shock and all those things, everything was okay. But when the thermal shock happens, there's some performance deterioration comes. It took a lot of time for us to find out what was the reason. We solved that. So that was difficult. But I will show another case study. A simple idea also can make a multi-million-dollar business there, to grab business. This is, I don't know whether I will be able to explain it properly. This is a fiber distribution hub. It is like a hub, the telephone, these box, on the roadside and all. So if you want a connection, the lineman will come and give a connection there, and the line goes to your home. Same thing in fiber also was there. So what they had was like this. There was a hinge, because every time they had to access backside. So from the hinge, they will open like this and access the backside, like our, one side hinge. So it opens like that. So what we did was like very simple thing, but you can see we changed that design with an axis, and it rotates around the axis. Okay, so that the advantage is like during fog, snow, rain and all, that fiber backside will never come out of the box. Okay, so that was the simple innovation, but we did that one, and we could get business also. So it is not that you have to come up with something non-existent and to get business to become an entrepreneur also. So like that, another case study is created market. Yeah, this is very interesting. It's an R&D. Any standard textbook, I think you also may be reading about fiber optics, the advantages of fiber optics, you will tell like high signal integrity. I will explain that very easily. Like a telephone wire, if you take two parallel wire, you connect and you can listen. Like normally the landline and all, you can always listen that. Okay. And RF, if you have a communication RF, then also, if you have a wideband receiver, probably you can even receive that and tap into their communication, or they listen to them. But when you are sending signal over optical fiber, even if you touch, nothing happens. The light is inside, you cannot tap. This is the reason why it is called high signal security, and optical communication is used in defense. Let us focus only on Indian defense, because nobody will be able to tap it. Otherwise, people will tap it and get all the information. Okay, so they were very happily using optical fiber communication. So this was happening. Then one day, what we did was like we took normal these laser pointer, and put that into a normal fiber, commercial fiber. You can see that light comes out, but when I am bending, there also some light comes out. Okay, so I could have ignored that. Okay, that is the normal thing what we do. But what we thought was like, if we create a bend, we are able to see the light. That means light comes out. So if that light, if you are able to detect, use, then you can tap optical fiber also. So that was the idea which came up with this one. Okay, so what we did was like we did all the calculation and things like that. In a normal optical fiber network, even if somebody is tapping light, you will not know. Your system will work because of the, normally when you do the link design, you give a margin there. So even if here normally 10 dB or margin is there, normally they give. So that even if we step on the fiber, some loss will come, but still your no data, bit rate comes there. So that can be misused. When you are tapping light, the people will not know at all. Okay, that was something very interesting idea which we got, and we are not intruders. Okay, so that I have to tell. So what we can do is a sensitive data, when it is sent to an authorized user, one copy can be received to the intruder. So we had this idea. We created a product, a very simple product. We went to Indian Defense and they told like it is not possible to detect intrude into their network. Then finally what they did was like they took us to some room somewhere. They showed me this is the fiber. I am sending some info. You detect and show me. So that was the challenge given to us. And fortunately, they sent actually a photo of the tank. They send it. We detect and showed them this is what you sent. At that time, that is how we created market. So then they thought like, oh my God, whatever systems we are having, also, whatever system we are having, also there is a possibility of somebody else, some other country intruding into that and detecting. So they asked me, can you give this device so that we will go and intrude into some other's network? That was their interest. But we told like we are not intruders. We will protect your system. Okay. It was a very challenging. They asked so many questions. There are see, when you are an intruder is more intelligent than the designer. That's what we have to understand. They are very, very, hacking people are very, very intelligent. So you have to think that, and finally we came up with a system. We call it as an intrusion proof system. If you put on both sides, nobody will be able to intrude it. If they intrude, we have some methods, like the signal will be rerouted to some other path, and also we can tell exactly where the intruder is with 50-meter resolution. For example, Cochin University, somebody is there, so here they are intruding. So we have so many things to do, like defense wanted not only reroute, we have to send some junk data, so that intruder will think like there is some active data coming, so they will remain there. So like that one. So there was no market when we had the idea, but we created mass market by educating, and then we got the business here. Okay. So I told you like startup ecosystem. This is what I think many of you may be interested, because you have to be get interested in entrepreneurship. So you have to have the failure of the startup. We have done some analysis, and we have said that around 42% of the reason, cumulative reason, was like there was no market need for the product you develop. So that is what I told you. Whatever market required, then only you have to develop on that. On the entrepreneurship, I will focus a little bit and then go to the final one. So when you have an idea, you can do a self-check also. Originality of the problem. Is it original, or you are copying from someone, some paper IEEE published, and then you tell that it is my idea and I am coming up with that. Then patentable, prior art status. Before starting any idea, you have to know till now what people have done and what for they have done. So I always suggest you like don't reinvent the wheel. You stand on that level, their shoulders, and look further. Okay, that's how you have to think of the idea. Then market analysis and development cost, product repeatability. Repeatability, I think Kuruvilla will be able to talk about, because you can make an antenna, one antenna. I am not very sure if you are able to make 10 antennas in the same with the same performance. And also when you package it, again the performance changes. I think probably he will focus on that. There are some more good news for professors and other people who doesn't want to get into product development and all. They can sell ideas also. So only problem here is like you don't know how much your idea costs. Costing is very difficult. You can take help of many people who are very expert in this. From that you can find out, because you don't know whether it costs 1 lakh or 100 crore. We don't know. So that is a very big exercise. So I always used to talk about research to startup transition. Research is like worshipping Saraswati, like a lot of papers in public, but you have to think worshipping Lakshmi. Then I think from research to startup transition will happen. Okay, but you can see I always worship, or I like empowering women here. Okay, that is also there. But that is very important. You have to think. Your mindset has to slightly change to thinking this one. I'm not saying you leave Saraswati, but both you have to start worshipping. So that's how you become an entrepreneur. Product development life cycle, this is very, very important. Whatever you do in the lab, it's actually only the first part or the second part. So your idea, you are proving it. For example, nowadays 5G, 6G is coming up. If you are able to come up with some antenna design which will get into 6G, that is very good. You can always contact people who are working on these, like IIT Madras and all, Samir and all, they are coming up with the test bed. So if you have very good idea, in 6G also you can do. But those are all in the proof of concept. Once proof of concept is done, then it moves to the design, the final design, because it should look like an antenna or look like a product. So once the design is done, now design will involve lot many things. It's a interdisciplinary expertise, like industrial design, how it should look like, what color it will be, where the on-off switch has to go. So all those things. Then there will be mechanical design, photonics, electronics, embedded software, all these things combined together. That's how you do the design. Once you do the design, first you make the prototype, that is called alpha prototype, which can be used, develop using 3D printing and normal things, enclosure. Then you come up with beta proto, because alpha proto may not satisfy all your requirements. Then you fine tune your design in beta proto. Then you move to the pilot build. The pilot build will happen in the volume manufacturing facility. If you are doing, it is yours. If you are outsourcing the volume manufacturing, you have to get it done there, because from that only samples are taken for compliance testing and reliability testing. So it has to pass. If it passes, you can't change a screw, nut, or any material. So then only the commercial product comes. So this is the typical what we follow, but there can be lot many other variants also people follow it there. So some of the products, I am just not getting into that. You may be wondering what I am doing, and also these products in healthcare area, I told you this is one of the very interesting area which we have developed lot many products for eyes, heart, lungs. Instead of getting into all these details here, from breath also you can detect cancer and things like that. Those are all getting into, you can see many without talking about what it is and all, because of the IP. Many products we have designed, developed for Harvard University, MIT, all those are our customers. And this is the product sense you have to buy. Whatever I talked about, I made it very, very simple English in a book form. It was available in Amazon also, very low cost. Okay. So as a summary, for a scientist, becoming an entrepreneur is a logical extension, I think. So that's what I have done. Okay, so this is possible. It's not something very difficult. If you focus, you will be able to decide to move out of your comfort zone. This is very, very important. Comfort zone, you have to travel. When you are corporate, you have to travel every day. Your family is here. Your son and daughter may be in the class, and there will be fight between husband, wife, and all those things will happen. But it is like that. You may need some hands-on mentoring. Mentoring is very, very important. You can't go through again all these things, your experience. There are people who have already undergone these type of things, so they will mentor. We have been doing that. We have been doing free of cost to many people. For example, IIT Madras, I have been doing regularly. So all their research, all their startups. The satisfaction of giving back to the society, that is what, the technology is converted to a product which is used by the people, MRI designed which is used by the people. So one more aspect I missed on is like on healthcare products. When you are designing, what I tell my engineers is like, you have to think like the first machine will be used on you or your relatives. So that is what you have to keep in mind. Okay, so if the MRI gives the wrong result, they will do on you only surgery. Okay, if it is required. So that is how you have to really believe, like risk and mitigation, all those aspects you have to, so need to be experienced. Thank you very much. I think I have taken a lot of time, like Socrates was taking earlier. Yeah, any questions? I think that will be very interesting from youngsters. Yeah, you have? Oh. Any question? There are two reasons for that, no questions. One is either you have understood fully 100% or like your eyes were open and sleeping. Okay. Who wants to be an entrepreneur will ask. Yeah, that's good. I think the young generation, they have to move towards that. It is not something difficult. Okay, anyway, I don't want to, if you can reach out to me anytime. My email ID is given. So any questions, anything, normally I reply very fast. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your insights and experience with us. Now I would like to invite Professor C.K. Anandan to give a token of appreciation to Dr. K.R. Suresh Nair.